check my own blend file to see if mine had it or not. I probably should. Oh, but it looks like there's a checkbox automatically pack into blend.
It automatically packs. So
mine wasn't checked. So I should resave my homework and again.
Jennifer is talking about how to unpack your resources or unpack them under your file menu. Go to external data, unpack linked libraries, or unpack the resources. All that stuff.
That checkbox at the top might be what causes, like, as soon as you drag an image, it
Right.
automatically bloats your blend file with the image data.
Right there.
And if it's a small image, not a problem.
Okay.
If it's a big one.
So all right. So let's start with your homework assignment. First, I want to ask, are there any questions? Besides the ones?
I had 3 questions written down.
All right.
Great.
One was, what's the equivalent of the Lightwave V key or like set value? You want to like select a bunch of vertices and then set their X value to like 10 or something. Because I wanted to select all the vertices I had pulled back with the bevel for all the windows and make them the same.
All right. So if I'm going to make a cube in here very quickly and kind of like drop that down. Go to my edit mode, go to my tab, edit, right? And I select any of these vertices, hit the number 1 key on the keyboard, and I'm going to target that vertice there. Set value happens here in the transform menu in Blender. In Lightwave, we've got shortcut keys like F1 or F2 or F3, and it'll set certain values for you automatically. In Blender, you don't. You can set up shortcut keys in Blender. We'll talk about that later. But right here is where we actually set those values in your X, Y, and Z coordinates, locally or globally.
Okay, so I'm not seeing that.
Over.
Oh, there it is. Okay, I see.
Under the item, you go to the item. So
item.
because we selected a vertice, now DJ is new to the class. All right, DJ, and who else is not? Who was actually, is John here? John Eves should be here. Let me check my email.
Man, yeah, my vertices don't move even when I change that value in that.
So if I go 0, see, mine is moving.
Yeah, yours.
Wait, sorry.
But your vertices yellow. Mine are orange.
Oh,
well, that's right. I was going to bring up. Sorry, in Steve's example, he's set to global. What are you set to?
Yeah. Well, I'm set to local.
Oh, no. At the very top, you were set to global. The next to the UV menu, on the top menu of Blender.
Over here?
There's this drop-down list. I really should know my transform orientations.
Right
global,
there.
Local, normal, gimbal.
Yeah, right. Right here.
No, up and to the left.
Up to the left?
Look for the word global.
There.
Yep,
there
that's
it is.
Now, what's Zari's set to?
Mine global is not. Yeah, it is global. Yeah.
It is global?
Okay.
Okay, and that's
I thought maybe.
Yeah, these are the two that matter here. Because he was doing a definite, okay, yeah. Well, we're going to address those two actually doing a tutorial. This is all going to become clear.
Awesome.
I want to check in my email here just to make sure I'm not missing anybody. Okay, I don't see anything. Okay. All right, we are now recording. So, all right, I want to look at your homework real quick. I think, who did I start to look for?
That was me, Steve. We were talking about my issue with the image dropping out of the file that I uploaded.
Right, so that was Lawrence, right?
Right.
Okay, see, it helps me if you say me.
Sorry.
Okay, so DJ, would you share with everybody who you are and what you do and what you hope to learn from the class?
Yeah, I'm DJ, as it says right there. And I am an animator and motion designer. I live in San Diego and owned a studio for like, 5 years?
I think so, yeah.
For a while, at least. Probably longer than 5.
Yeah.
Pandemic turned time. Anyway, Yeah, and I work mostly in television and film and that whole world. I also work for SiriusXM and Pandora as their lead motion designer. The way I told Steven was like, I typically work in Cinema 4D. I do mostly 3D. Typically work in Cinema 4D, but Cinema 4D recently changed their user interface dramatically. To be very much more like Blender. So I decided if I have to learn Blender anyway, I might as well actually learn Blender and maybe save some money on my Cinema 4D subscription. So here we go.
Absolutely. And share with everybody what you just recently won.
Oh, yeah. I won 2 of these. So I'm the president of the Academy of Television of Arts and Sciences for the Pacific Southwest region. Just won 2 Emmys for my work on the Atlantic Fest. 2021 Atlantic Fest, and yeah, this is my 4th and 5th nominations, and finally kind of brought it home. So
did you hold up your Emmy to the camera for all to see?
Oh, that's right. I was trying to be more subtle than that.
Isn't it so pretty?
Yeah.
So, Jen, you've won some Emmys too, right? Jen?
I'm just trying to think. I don't know, not to my knowledge. I've attended an Emmy nomination because Dave was up for, I think it was Alien Earths. He was up for an Emmy nomination, and so I got to attend one of the Emmy presentations.
Did
nice.
Did Dave win Emmys?
No, he won the nomination. But
Gotcha.
There was another folks who won I'm trying to remember. It was like, I think it was some sort of Santa Claus. It was like best television effects, and I think it was like some like Santa Claus and elf presentation. It's been a long time.
So do we have any other Emmy Award winners here in the group? No. Zare,
Yeah.
speak.
For the work Dave and I and a bunch of others did on the Insight landing
Okay.
on Mars. So yeah, that was fun.
Yeah, Zare is the lead animator and modeler for JPL, DJ. Okay, so you kind of get an idea. All right.
Nice. Yeah, and I went ahead and dropped in the chat the thing that I won for, so you can take a look.
All right, sure, cool. All right. So Lawrence, we're gonna take a look at yours real quick. Cool. All right, let's go. Actually, I'm in. There we go. Let's see what I've got here. What do I have? I want to check something else out real quick. Okay, I'm in the modeling. I think this should be the modeling. No, I'm not. Let's go over here. Okay. Yeah, I'm gonna have to re-import in the image, but I see what you're doing.
And I think it's because that automatically pack resources is disabled.
Yep.
So did I screw up?
Well, you didn't screw anything up. It was that automatic pack resources under external data.
Mm-hmm.
I just checked mine. Right there. So in that way, so I can go and I don't want to get into texturing just yet. I'll have to go back and retexture it. But basically, I can go and retexture it and go and get the image. So let's see. If I come over to my shading, we're going to talk about this eventually anyway in time. So if I go to my texture, come on. That image is also connected to the alpha. It shouldn't be. Disconnect that. Okay. All right, let's go get the image real quick under Lawrence, and it should. There it is. Okay. Sometimes it disconnects. And I've noticed that about Blender, and honestly, I'm gonna chalk it up as a bug. We're gonna get into texturing later. Don't worry about what I just did right now. Okay. We're gonna get in detail on texturing much later. But I notice I have to retexture things or just reestablish. Come back here to the texture node for my image. So this is your image. Just notice your image, it said it was there, but it wasn't really there. So I simply have to go to open the folder, go get it again, reestablish it, and then it works.
Okay.
All right. So just to be aware of that.
Yeah, I noticed it was operating pretty buggy yesterday. I had to restart a couple times.
Right. They're all software have bugs. So that's something I did notice about Blender from time to time. Okay, it looks good.
Thanks. I do have a question about. I was trying to on the extrusions, or like I was doing the ledges or pushing the planes back.
Sure.
I was trying to find a way to get those consistent. I took a note of the first one I established and tried to match each one. But is there a way to key in those values?
And this, the way I showed you for this particular example, and I'm assuming you want a consistency between, like, say, for example, the top of these windows, right?
Right.
For this example, you got to eye it because you're trying to match your image, and your image may have a million different values that you need to worry about. So I think what I'm saying is, say I establish a depth for one window. I see what you're saying. Yeah, it's right there. Well, I'll show you. That'll come up in the next exercise. But anyways, I'll do it here. I'm going to go ahead and add some edges. Now, be aware. I know people had problems with this before. Some people were left clicking to try to get this to activate, which is what you do in Cinema 4D or Lightwave or Maya. In Blender, left click activates. Left click doesn't do anything. So you need to do nothing with your mouse over, and then when you left click, you can drag this and then click again to activate it, to commit the changes. Right? So if I come over to here, and I know what your question is, but Command R again, get close to an edge, and then it's always whatever polygon or whatever shape that is that you're inside. It will split it directly equally in half. That's the first thing it's going to do. And then you click and drag, and I'll bring it over to the Windows edge. Now I know this empty space in here I need to use to select the other side. So Command R, go back up to the top edge. After a while, this will be completely, now there I accidentally clicked and I didn't want to do this. So if I double click it, that selects the looped edge. Now, to move it along the surface without affecting the surface shape, double click the G key on your keyboard. That allows you to drag, place that where you want it, and click it there.
So a question. I ran into an issue earlier in the week when I was doing this. Say that interior window.
Yep. I'm getting ready to hit the 3 key now.
Yeah. So I was trying to drag slices so I could create that boundary.
Right. And you want them all to be consistent, right? You want them all that same depth. So if I hit the E key, push it in just right now, and left click. Look right down here in the bottom corner. Click that arrow. There are your numbers. So just
I saw the numbers, but I couldn't see.
Couldn't see what?
Well, they were in a different area on the screen too. But I was looking for an area to type them in. So I don't think I had that.
No, right there. Right there. Click it. Type it in.
Okay.
You just, it's a single left click, it highlights it, you can type it in. And in this case, I'm going to Control C to copy it. Right? And then I'm going to go to this one right here. And I'm going to go ahead and Command R, get the edge, put one there. Command R again. I got to left click to commit that change. Command R again, and that edge there. Okay. Number 3 key on the keyboard is targeted because I want a face editing mode. E key, push it in just a little bit just to get the box. Come down here, Command V, paste it in, enter, there it is, done.
Mm-hmm.
And they're equal.
Yeah. So I have another question.
Sure.
If I had like an interior shape that I was trying to draw a slice around, and I had already sort of done the perimeter of the window.
Okay.
So what I'm running into is trying to drag a selection on that interior of the shape, and whenever when I had an active slice trying to drag it over,
Hello, ladies and gentlemen, it's Mike here at Gay from Scratch Up for You Video Developers. I've got some great news for you.
We're hearing somebody's. There we go.
So when I was dragging a slice and it bumped into a previously drawn slice.
That's correct.
I couldn't move anything.
That's correct. You can't move past it. So you have to select. For example, if I hit the number 2 key for edge editing mode and double click this one, actually we'll do this once up here, and double click it. Well, now I've got to select the whole. All right, so it's what's happening. We'll go over to the left. The reason it's stopping is because we created an extrusion in here, so it's no longer a continuous loop. All right. Mm-hmm. So I'm going to go over here where there is one, a continuous loop. Double click it. Oh, did you do that one too? Oh, you did them all actually. Here, we'll do this example. We'll just add one up here. So Command R, there's my loop. Okay. Double G, right? It's gonna stop at a connecting loop, right? There's no real reason to go past that line. Because if you need to put something past the line that's right below it, then just simply come down below that line, hit Command R, and put it down below it. All right? There's no reason to move it past it.
Okay.
All right? So what I have found out with most 3D artists is that we overcomplicate things. And we're going to simplify it so easily that this is going to make sense. Then you're not going to have a need to do ultra sophisticated, complicated stuff. You can do everything that you can with very simple approaches. Okay, cool. Good job. That looks great. Yes.
Thank you.
Yes.
Sorry, this is Scott.
Hey, Scott.
Quick question. I emailed John this one a couple days ago, but the question that I had was around, I wasn't very actually sure, but the idea is all this has been straight lines. I mean, edge cuts, loop cuts are all straight.
Yeah.
What if you want to do something that's a little curvy?
We're going to do that today. Don't worry about it. Sit tight.
I believe the cover, but I just wanted I was trying to get ahead of it. Right?
All right, I know. And I'm not gonna let you get ahead. Okay. So some people in this class have had no experience in 3D at all. Some people in this class have experience in 3D, but have pretty much most people have no experience in Blender. So all I wanted you guys to do for the homework assignment was to simply play with extrusions and slices and bevels. Because you're going to be using those religiously through your entire modeling career. Today, we're going to get in 3-dimensional. Okay?
Thank you.
All right. So, patience. Patience, young Jedi. All right, cool. So let's go to work. And, any other questions before I go further?
Yeah, I had 2 more.
Sure.
One is when I'm looking at the my object edge on, and then I box select a bunch of points.
Okay.
It only selects the points like facing me, whereas in Lightwave it's sort of like an X-ray. It's like whatever's in that box,
Okay.
the points behind those points, they all get selected.
All right, let's go.
In Blender, only the front ones are being selected.
All right, that's an excellent question, and thank you for asking that question. Command Shift A gives me my option to go to my various 3D objects here. Go to Mesh for my primitives. Go to Cube. I'm going to put a cube in here. Hit the period key on the numeric side of the keyboard to zoom into the cube. Now, as you mentioned, we go into Edit mode. Tab key. Go to Edit mode. I'm in edge editing mode now. If I hit the number 1 key on my keyboard, now I'm in my point editing mode, and it's only selecting the points that I can see visually. If I want to see everything, you're going to go to X-ray mode. So if you look up here in the top right-hand corner of my menu, I have that little blue square selected with the white circle in it. If I go over one over, we're going to go over the two over, and we click the two squares overlapping one another. That's your X-ray mode. Now you can select whatever your heart's desire.
Awesome.
Okay. So
also,
yes.
Is there a merge points button?
There is. And we're going to get into that later, but I'll tell you what, I'll share that with you right now just because you're special.
Thank you. That's what my teacher told me.
You must have been a good kid. See, I had nuns in my class, so I had to behave. So, all right. So now in Blender, there's a really nice feature, and you're going to look up here. It's going to look like a magnet. Now, magnet means something different than light wave. If I click that magnet, that means snap, automatically merge or snap to it, right? And if I come right over here, I can tell it what to snap to, right? A vertex or an edge or a face or whatever. I'm going to target the that one there. Where is my? I'm missing something, but I'm missing something. There we go. This thing pisses me off with Blender. Way over here on the opposite side of the screen, right beneath your viewing mode, your standard shading viewing mode with that blue square and the white circle. If you look right down below, it says two little dots.
Yeah.
That means auto merge.
Oh, okay.
It really should be over here next to this. It should be. I should have to look way over here on the screen. So now I'm told Blender to snap to other vertices, and I also told Blender to auto merge. So if I bring that point on up, bing, merged. Look at my statistics over here. I'm going to go to my statistics option. Let me drop this down, turn on statistics, and see I've got one vertice selected. It's not two. If I select these two vertices are selected. So up here on the top left-hand corner. If you don't have statistics turned on, statistics, come over here to just to the left of the X-ray mode, and go to the drop menu, and this is going to be your overlay viewing options, right? So if I click this off, and you may do this accidentally and you can't see anything anymore on your 3D widget and stuff because your overlay options turned off, and click it again, it turns everything back on. But if you drop down, you got the individual elements like your floor. Like if you don't want to see the floor plane, you can come in here and say turn off the floor, or turn off the X-axis or the Y-axis, right? Right here in the overlay options. I am going to keep X and Y on and keep the floor on for educational purposes. So if I take these two, and let's stretch them together like this, and let's see, bring them together. Come on, I should be able to. We'll grab one, and boom, come on, get close enough. What's going on here? There we go. Now we got one vertice because we told it to auto merge right here. Does that make sense?
Yeah,
okay.
Thanks a lot.
Yeah, all right. So at least that's recorded. So when we get into more of the hard surface modeling techniques, we can talk about that in more detail. All right, I'm gonna go into object mode to select the entire object. I'm gonna hit the delete key or the X key on your keyboard to delete it. And let's go do something three-dimensional today. We're
before we do that, just a quick question.
Sure.
Are we recording?
We are recording.
Oh, okay. Didn't tell me we were, so I just wanted to be sure.
All right.
Sorry to bother.
All right.
Stephen, one question about the panel on the right that acts like layers. I'm very familiar with Photoshop and Illustrator, and I'm just wondering, is there dominance? Like yesterday, I had a hard time with the sun. I lost so much time fighting with the sun that I didn't really get to do bevel. And I'm just wondering, like, is there a hierarchy? Like, do you need the sun to be at a higher position in your object?
No. The way layers work in Blender is it automatically lists them according in numerical order. That's it, or in alphabetical order. That's all it does.
Okay, thank you.
No, there's no rhyme or reason.
Steve, this is Dan. I had a question for you. I think it's a matter of for extruding what points to select in order to get a good extrusion?
Okay.
Meaning, visually looking at the image, and where would you put your square?
All right.
In my homework, I selected an image that I figured could go through all 5 classes that would apply a lot of what we're doing. And I tried on 2 of the boxes, and I really don't feel that I
Okay. Did you upload your homework?
Yeah.
Okay. Let's go get it. Let's go up and Dan, right?
Yep.
Why don't I? Oh, there it is. There's nothing in it.
All right. Hold on.
I can go back to Google Drive here. I've got it in front of me just to double check.
Yeah. Okay. Share with me. Blender 5 week class week 1, and then my name, and they're there.
They're there. Okay. All right. I'm gonna go check a look.
It's not a property because it's in your stuff. It should be there.
It should be there. I downloaded it, and I don't know why I didn't download it. Nothing's perfect. Okay. Give me a hot second. I'll go over here to. Oh, I'm in the wrong program. I want to be over in. There we go. It's right here. Okay, so Dan, there they are. All right, so I'm going to go get your folder. I don't know why I didn't do it. Now, Google does that from time to time. Download it. I'm zipping the file now. Should take a hot second because they're not big. We'll take
from the pictures there, you can kind of maybe get an idea what I'm. There's a picture of you can get an idea what I'm talking about. I uploaded your picture too.
Okay. Yep, it's downloading now. It's just going to take its own little sweet time here.
So my question while that's doing that is just a matter of what points to select in order to create the extrusion if
here, let's do this.
I selected something a little too deep. I don't know.
Let's do this. Let me go Shift A, get a cube, right? Go to my edit mode. And there's something I want to talk about in terms of editing, guys. Don't let me forget. I'm going to select the front face. Now, right now, point edits, points are selected. I want to go to face editing mode, get a face. I key for inset. Right. Now, the extrusion tool always automatically happens, and didn't used to do that in Blender, but it does now. It always extrudes along the normals of the selected face. So the normals is basically imaginary vector lines that are completely perpendicular to your selected face. That's the way extrusion works. So if I hit the E key for extrusion, see, it restricts it along the normals of that face. That's what you're seeing with that blue line. It's restricting it to the Z-axis in this particular case. And click it, and then there's your extrusion. Right? It doesn't matter what it is. If I go to the top, inset it in, and I say I want to extrude another building out of there, E key, see? Always along the normals of that face. So it keeps, the guesswork out of it. That's what it's doing. Does that make sense? Dan?
Yeah, it does. It makes sense.
I don't know. That didn't sound very positive.
Yeah, I know. I am very visual, but I'm trying to apply it. Okay.
All right. So then your file just finished downloading. So let me go get it real quick. Give me a quick second, we'll get on with class. So I think what we're going to do today, is going to basically answer a lot of your questions. Come on, there we go. All right, so Lawrence, homework, Dan, okay, what the hell is going on? Oh, I'm sorry. Here. And I'm going to just drag, come on, you stupid thing. All right, let's just drag this on over there. Here she is, and go ahead and yes, replace it. It's in there. Okay, so let's go back. File menu open. Don't want to save that. Go back up. Dan. Bing, there we go. So of course I've got to go get that image again.
Right.
Right, you got 2 lights in yours. Like you having fun with this one.
We talked about the sun earlier, and I saw the wall sconces there, so I was like, why not? I put 2 points of light instead of playing with the sun.
And why it also applies your alpha, I don't know. I think I remember Lightwave doing something similar to that as well. Automatically does that. Okay, so Dan. And
the thing that I wanted to do was I wanted to have two different colored lights so that I could actually see the difference in lighting between the 2 windows.
Okay. Oh, okay.
Hey,
we're not going to get into that just yet, Dan. Yeah?
Oh, no, I realize that, but on the extrusion, though, you see where, I did push it in. But I really didn't, to me, get the effect of I don't know.
Yeah, you know what?
I think the corner, just the lower left corner. I really don't feel that the left corner went in toward the windows as I wanted it to.
Okay, because you probably selected the wrong areas around it. I'm looking at you're not selecting the window sills area instead of to make it. What I taught you is applicable and real. Is a real practical purpose for this. In other words, you don't want to. If you have cities in the background or buildings in the background, you don't want to model all those buildings. Let the photograph do your work for you and just model a few little areas in the building to make it react to your 3-dimensional lights in there, to make it look like you modeled the real buildings. So where you put those slices are important. So if you put them in the wrong place, it's not going to look real. Right. So I'm looking at this, and your slices are in the wrong place. They're outside and not inside.
Okay.
Right. If they were inside, then maybe a little more convincing. Because then the light's going to react exactly where the edges of the lights and shadows are going to react exactly where those edges are. Okay. I'm not.
Okay, so what I would do with your recommendation then is the darker are the molded outline of the window is where I should
make
my lines and then extrude that.
That's correct.
Back, and I should get the effect.
That's correct. In fact, in Photoshop, I would have cut off this whole right side here and just work with this on these 2 windows on the inside, on the left side.
Yeah, I'm not doing anything with this over there.
All right. Now, what you're going to learn today is going to answer, I think, a lot of the questions, because this was just a simple exercise in getting you used to the tools in Blender. That was it.
Thank you.
Okay, so one more question before we go on to move forward, so we can get class rolling. Good. Yay, I like that. All right, here we go. I'm going to start a new file. File menu, new, general. It just resets my desktop. Okay, let's go have some fun. All right. I have asked everybody to download all those folders onto your desktop. So if you did do that, let me go over here. You should have, let me see it. I have this open. You should have, let's see, texture modeling classes, reference images, or was it under, there was the images of the fire hydrant is what I'm looking for. I'm going to make sure I've got it in the right place. There it is. Okay, so hydrant PNG. Let me go over here to the view menu in extra large. All right, you should have this. So I'm going to have you watch me first. I'm going to have you guys, do it next. So last week we brought in images as planes. Today we're going to bring in an image as a reference. And then from that reference, we're going to build this hydrant. And we're going to use some new tools, some other tools that we haven't discussed about yet. So I'm going to move this over to the side. And the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to go to my front view. Now, if you remember, on the numerical side of your keyboard, the number 1 key is your front face. Number 3 key is your side view. The number 7 key is your top view, orthographic views. So I'm going to hit the 1 key for the front view. And with the front view selected, I am going to click on the hydrant and drag it on over and drop it right in there. So I would like everybody to get to that point. I'm going to pause the recording, give you a minute. This image has an embedded alpha. It's a PNG, or with an embedded alpha in there. I just did it in Photoshop and exported it out with a PNG and told Photoshop to honor the alpha.
So newbie question.
Sure.
Embedded alpha. What does that mean?
All right. So, and are you used to Photoshop?
Yes.
Okay. You know when you cut, say for example, you cut the fire hydrant out of one photo, and you put it into its own layer, right?
Right.
All that transparent area around that fire hydrant, that's the alpha.
Okay.
Alpha makes things transparent. Okay,
embedded transparency.
That's what embedded transparency.
Gotcha.
So if you're using masking in Photoshop, painting with black does what to the layer masking?
You paint.
That's right.
There
That's alpha. That layer mask, black and white. That's your alphas. Black is your alpha channels.
Okay.
All right. Okay. Cool. So we have our image. I want to make sure this image is going to be dead center approximately just to start things off. So we go up to our item for our object. So all of our objects have got an item. And if you notice, the transform has, various locations because the item is not dead center. Center it. Make 0, 0 for each X, Y, and Z. 0 for X, Y, and Z, and it'll automatically center. And let me know when you're done.
Done.
Cool. How's everybody else doing? Pretty good? Good.
Yeah, done.
Thank you.
Good.
All right, next. We're not going to lock the layer yet because we have to do a little modification. We're going to use this as a reference image, and that is it. If I click on the image, you'll notice that you get these little red squares in either corner. Not red squares, yellow squares in 4 corners there. Little dots to resize the image, so I can click on them to make it bigger or make it smaller, whatever I choose. I'm going to hit Command Z to go back. That tells you that this is not an image in planes. So image as planes means that an image was already UV mapped on a plane, and that plane has been exactly matched to proportions of your image. Here, this is just a reference image. So we're going to modify the reference image to give it some transparency so that when we create a model around it, using it as a reference, we can see through the image a little bit. So it's not visually obstructing our view of our modeling techniques. So to do so, all objects have preferences, just like in Photoshop. Every tool in Photoshop has a preference, right? So every object has a preference. So it's a image object. It shows up right up here in the scene collection in layers. For lack of a better term, all they are is layers showing you where things are. I even put some of these objects in the last week's video. I showed you how to group them. Like up here, my lights, camera, and action. If I drop down the little arrow to the left of it, you get to see where my camera and my lights and everything is inside that grouped folder, right? So it's just a good way for me to know where my lights and cameras are located, so I don't have to go searching through 50 or 100 different layers to try to go find my lights or my camera. Okay, so now here's my image. Now I'm gonna double click it says empty, right? Because it's not really a 3D object. It's just an empty. An empty is a null if you're using Lightwave or anything else, all right? That's all it is. So if I double click on the word empty on the scene collection, call it image. Just rename it, just so that we can visually connect with it. Okay. Once done, what we're going to do is we're going to bring in a primitive that's going to best represent this hydrant. And what primitive do you think that might be?
Cylinder.
Excellent, a cylinder. So I've played with this tutorial before. So I already know that we need a cylinder with 14 sides, right? If you're doing this in real life, you will experiment with the various sizes until it matches what you're trying to match in your photograph. Okay, so here we go. What I want you to do is I want you to bring in a cylinder, Shift A, shortcut, and you have to make sure that, and you should already be in object mode, and come over and select the cylinder. Now, don't left click or click on anything. I want you to come down on the bottom left hand corner and you'll see your properties box for your cylinder. By default, it's truncated, which is why I think you probably missed this before. But if I hit that little box, I can modify this, adding more points, less points, whatever I want. We want 14 points. So we select it, highlight it, and type in 14 and hit enter. Okay. Now, for now, this is all we want to do. So what I want you to do is just left click anywhere on your desktop and that's going to go away. Now we're going to do a technique I just taught you that that matches Zari's question, is that I want to be able to see the image behind this. So Zari, what do we do?
Steve, I'm sorry. I think I'm in the wrong view. Looks like I'm looking at the top of my cylinder.
Oh, the top of your cylinder.
Did you put
the fire hydrant in the top view and not the front view?
That looks like that's what I did.
Okay, good. All right, so let me share how to correct that. Let's say I want to put this in the top view. I can just simply Alt key and drag, right? Go to my transform option over here and just rotate it. Right? Now, if you hold the control key down while you rotate it, it will rotate in 10-degree increments. So rotate it until it faces the front view the way that you need it.
And if my cylinder is behind the image, shall I move the cylinder?
Don't worry about it for right now.
Got it.
Sorry, I was muted, Steve. So you click on those double squares in the upper right.
That's right. So what I like everybody to do is to go to X-ray mode. Click on the double squares just to the left of your standard shading mode here. Two icons to the left of the standard shading mode, and you can see through the geometry. And now we can see our image, and this is the way we're going to be modeling. Okay. Some of you probably... Is there anybody here whose 3D cursor, and when I say 3D cursor, I'm talking about that circle that's white and red in the middle. Is there anybody in the class whose circle is not in the 000 location, world location?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. The rule of Blender, anything that you bring inside of Blender's interface in terms of objects will always automatically be centered on the 3D cursor. So if your 3D cursor is not there, it's going to put it wherever that 3D cursor is located. So I'm going to move my 3D cursor. Here's a shortcut. Shift right click, and moves the cursor to other locations, which I've just done. Or right up here on your left hand corner, right below your tweak tool, is your 3D cursor move tool, where you can click and drag it and put it wherever you want, being in that tool. I don't want the cursor there. I want that cursor on the 000 location. Here's the shortcut. Shift S. Where do you want it? I can put cursors in a lot of different places. Selection to grid, cursor to active, cursor to selected, cursor to world origin. Click it. Boom. It goes there. Okay. So cursor to world origin. If your object is not there, click on your object now. Now, click on the object. I'm going to go back and do this again. So I accidentally clicked while I was in my move tool for my 3D cursor to world origin. You want to get out of there, go to your transform tool, select your cylinder, and what you could do also, you can do a quick way. I think it's Shift S also. I'm going from memory here. I can go select it to world origin. Let's see, select it, cursor to world origin, cursor, selection to cursor. Yeah, go selection to cursor. And then you click that, that'll drop your cylinder to match your cursor location. You will be using Shift S a lot. That's your 3D selection or 3D cursor. Okay, so I'm assuming everybody's there. Now, take note. I'm going to go back to my front face view, number 1 key on the keyboard. Take note that my image menu is not centered the way that I need it to be to my 3D object. No big deal. Select the image. Make sure you're in your 3D, your transform button here is on. And just go to I'm going to go, for me, it's my x-axis. I'm going to move it. Let me bring it down so we all can see this properly. Click on the image. And just move it so that the center of my hydrant matches the center of my cylinder. So grab this, the image, and I'm going to move it over to the center line. Goes right down the middle of the center of our hydrant. That's as far as I want you to go. And then once you're done, come over here to your scene collection, which is your layers for your images, and click the white arrow which locks the layers so that you don't ever accidentally move it again. Get to that point.
Please, that would be great.
So there's my object. I'm going to pull it down. Control and Option or Alt allows me to zoom in and out, up and down. Option and Shift held down together allows me to pan. Right? So I'm going to hit the A key for select all, Control A if you're in Photoshop, or Control A if you're in Microsoft Word, but A in Blender. And if I want to resize it, all I want to do is just match the two sides. I just think that's easier, which is the reason why we put the hydrant in the center to begin with, right? So S key for scale it down till it matches the sides of my hydrant. And that's all you need to do is get it to that point. Once you're there, now I want to make sure I'm in my face editing mode, number 3 key on my keyboard. Select the top face. Now notice I just clicked, when everything was selected, I clicked off outside to turn everything off to make it easy for me to grab the top. Now just put this one here. Now let's go get the bottom. Deselect that, select the bottom, and you can be sloppy about selecting, right? You don't have to be right on it, just somewhere outside it. Get to this point and tell me when you're done. And I'll start recording on this one. Let me see your screen. So share your screen. Yeah, looks good. You're close. So now you are not in your face editing mode. You're in your edge editing mode. So hit your number 3 key on the keyboard. 3 key in your keyboard.
He's in object.
Oh, he's in object mode. Oh, you in object mode? Okay, select your object first. Now you have to select your object first. Actually, do me a favor. Hold your tab key. Go to object mode first. Now select your object, because you got to tell Blender what it is you're going to edit. So select your cylinder.
Not that I. Okay.
Select your cylinder. Don't complicate it. Just select it. Now, hold the tab key. Edit mode. There. Hit the number 3 key on your keyboard right above your letters area. Now you're in the face editing mode. Now you're pretty close. Just to hit the S key and just resize it down just slightly. There you go. That's good enough. All right.
Okay.
Now left click. Now left click in the open area to deselect. Now do a loose square around the top edge. There you go. Now notice how close you're being to that. You don't have to be that close, buddy. Just be sloppy about it. Go on your left-hand side, get your transform tool. There you go. Pull it up. Do the same to the bottom. Go to your blue arrow, stop, blue arrow, pay attention. There you go, straight down. There you go, all the way down. Keep going right there. All right. You'll get used to the navigation. Soon you're going to get real fast about it. And that's it. That's where I want you to be. I'm going to stop sharing your screen.
Okay, thanks.
And I'm going to share my screen. Okay. Next step. We're going to pull this out. Now, if we look at the fire hydrant. Oops, sorry. We look at the fire hydrant. We've got, I don't know what these are called, but basically we're going to pull out, and these are two halves actually. The hat up here, and of course the main body right down the bottom. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to select just those top polys, again in face editing mode. Now here's where it might get a little tricky for you. You know what inset is, where we can actually, push polys in to create another set, another group of a smaller face within the surface. What we want to do is we want to pull this out. So to do that, I'm going to hit the E key for extrude. Now you already know that it will extrude according to its normals, right? Now what I want to do is I want to reset that face right back to where it began by right clicking. Boom. It sets it back down. It's still there. It just set it right back down. All you're going to do, I'm going to go to my side view, is hit the S key to scale it out. You see that, everybody? We're scaling it out. And I'm going to left click to commit the changes. Now, E key for extrude up like so. Get to there. Get to that point.
Select the top and then S key to scale it out.
You select the top, and did you extrude it yet?
No.
Hit the E key for extrude first, because that's going to create another set of polygons in there that you need to transform.
Okay.
Once you hit the E key for extrude, right click so it resets it back down to where it began.
Gotcha.
Now S key to scale it out. And match the photograph. So what you're learning is something you're going to be using for the rest of your modeling career. You're going to learn a hell of a lot more, but this is just kind of getting you started. And then tell me when you guys are done. I'll pause recording. All right, here we go. This is where the fun begins. We're going to go down to the bottom and do the same thing to the bottom, right? So the bottom's got the same deal as the top. So it's got to come out to create that base for the hydrant to stand on. So I'm going to grab the bottom polys. And then what am I going to do next, guys?
Extrude right.
That's right. Extrude is gonna restrict extrusion to the normals of the face you're extruding from. Right click just to reset it back exactly where it was before. What's next?
S for scale.
S for scale. Scale it out. Match your photograph as close as you can. What's next?
Another extrude.
Another extrude straight down to match the base, and then left click commits your changes. Get to that point. I'm going to start recording. Okay, now some of us who are experienced modelers know this. Those of us who are not experienced modelers, get into the habit of navigating and rotating it around to view your model to make sure it's accurate. So if I come and turn off the X-ray view, you're going to do that on a regular basis. View it, turn it around, take a look at it. If something's out of whack, go in and correct it, and then go back to your X-ray view, and we're going to continue to model. So let's go ahead and do that now. Let's go do the hat portion, and then we're going to do the bolts, and then we're going to finish the sides here. So let's do the hat portion, and then we're going to take a 10-minute break. Because we spent a lot of time doing your homework, you guys are going to get an extra 30 minutes past the hour. Okay, so now let's do the hat portion. So I'm going to go back. I want to bring it in as a separate object because looking at the photograph, I'm going to go back to X-ray view. Looking at the photograph, or I can turn off the eyeball on the cylinder, right? So I can just see the photograph and inspect it. These are actually two separate parts. So the bolts are joining them together. So we want to model them as two separate parts. Okay, so I'm going to turn the eyeball back on my cylinder. In fact, let's turn the eyeball off the cylinder. Let's rename this cylinder hydrant body. Just rename it right now. Call it hydrant body. Takes you no time to do that. And what you're going to do next is turn off the eyeball for the hydrant body so that it's not in the way distracting you. The next thing you're going to do is go to your front view, just like before, the number 1 key in your keyboard. Or if your hydrant's in the side view, number 3 key in your keyboard. All I'm going to do is I'm going to put in the same polygon, the same cylinder. Shift A, go to my, actually I'm in editing mode. You got to be careful of this because you can actually bring in with a Shift A your polygons within the same object as the hydrant body. I want this to be a completely separate object. So tab key, object mode, so that we can make a completely separate object on its own from everything else. Now Shift A, go over to my cylinder, and it keeps my last preferences. Keep those. Click it. And that's what we want to have. And we're going to match this hat right up here. So watch me first, and then I'm going to let you guys do it next. So it's too big. We want to stay away from editing things in object mode because it's going to mess up the scale. You want everything to be 1 to 1 to 1. Now that we see it's 1 to 1 to 1 to initially, then just go right into your edit mode, because in edit mode, it's kind of like your quantum universe. So if I come into the quantum universe, which is edit mode, and I resize this one like at scale like really, really big, this is kind of like, this should say 3 to 3 to 3, right? In object mode. So it's really big. So you would anticipate this to be like, if I go scale really big like this, it should be like 8 to 8 to 8. So if I come back to tab key and go back to object mode, what's the scale? 1 to 1 to 1, always. Right? So if you editing in object mode and editing in edit mode are two completely different universes. Edit mode's your quantum universe. You can put in 5,000 of these things in that quantum universe, come back out to the real world, and it'll always be 1 to 1 to 1. Okay. Now that it's 1 to 1 to 1 in object mode, I was just making a point here. Tab key, go back to edit mode. It's all selected. S, scale it down. I'm just going to eye it at first. Hit the period key to zoom in. Bring it on up to the base of the helmet. Hit the S key just to scale it to the width of the helmet, just like we did the trunk. grab the bottom portion, the bottom face, pull it up to the helmet, grab the top face, and pull it down, hit the number 1 key, pull it down to right there, because that's going to be another straight edge to be the pull up there. Now, here's where it gets fun. I'm going to take this top edge and scale it to match exactly where we're going to extrude this circle, the straight cylinder coming up. I'm going to do one other thing, Command R for adding an edge, select it, and then S key just to go to here, and that's all you need to do. That's all I want you to do. So get to that point.
Hey, Steve, quick
Yeah.
question. I had already modeled the top. Is there a way of cutting it and pasting it as a new object?
Oh, because that's right. So if you guys accidentally modeled it inside the edit view inside of the hydrant one,
Yes.
select all, and hit A key for select all. I'll go to my face editing mode. Select all. Face editing, Mr. Burns. Thank you. All right. Select all. And then hit the P key for parts. And then it's going to ask you, what do you want to call, what part do you want? Hit the selection. And then it'll automatically make a new object right up here in your 3D layers or your scene collection.
Oh yeah, that works. Works.
You're welcome.
Thanks.
So now now everybody, when you're done with this, go back and rename your object. Instead of cylinder, call it hat. So we can, yes.
I initially made my top of my cylinder, the part that we scaled outward. I made it too tall.
So grab your top poly face and just drag it back down.
So I'm trying to do.
Here, let me go ahead and share your screen.
All right.
There we go. Cool. All right. So you're making a new. You were doing a helmet now. So turn off your body. Turn off the hydrant body, the eyeball.
Yeah.
Thank you. You don't need it anymore. Go to your face view, front face view. Number 1 key on your keyboard. Go to number 3 key on your keyboard. There we go. Now add another cylinder. Shift A. Actually, you know what? No. You're still in edit, buddy. You're still in editing view. See the crosshairs on your cursor? That tells you you're still in editing view.
Okay.
All right, get out of there and get into object mode. That'll make a brand new object. All right?
Okay.
Shift A now. There you go. See how your menu looks a little different? There you go. Now, left click, you're going to keep the same surfaces. It remembered everything you did before. Left click, that commits your changes. Now go to edit view. Select your object first. Now edit view. There you go. Now go to work, go to town. You know what to do from here. Go to your transform, it'll help you if you want. But scale to match the thickness of your helmet. And then go get your transform tool. And just bring it up to the helmet. The base of the helmet. There you go. Go grab the top one and bring it down. No. You didn't grab the top. Everything's still selected. So deselect. Now grab the top. There you go. You got it. That's it. Now scale it to bring it in. S for scale. S for scale. There you go. Scale to the left. Is your mouse moving to the left? You're acting like you're really scared to move that mouse. Move it to the left. Move it in. There you go. That's it right there.
Right.
Left click to commit your changes. Now add a slice in the middle. Command R, Control R. There you go. No, go down. There you go. Now left click and left click again. That'll completely commit it. Now hit your S key. Scale out. Match the sides of the other helmet. Watch what you're doing. That's it. Left click and you're done. You're there. Sit tight.
Okay.
All right.
Second question.
Yep.
Second question. Body. Whatever.
So you have another cylinder there. Select that cylinder. Hit the L key. Put your mouse over that cylinder. Hit the L key on your keyboard. Is this cylinder inside here, or is that a separate object?
It must be a separate.
Okay, then just hit X key on the key. Select cylinder first. You're in edit mode. Get out of edit mode. Go to object. Select that cylinder. Hit the X key. Oh, I see. You got two cylinders in one object, buddy. So now go to your edit mode. There you go. Now hit delete key on your keyboard or X key on your keyboard. Faces. There, you're done.
Okay. So is this too tall? Is this too tall? This
well, yeah, just grab the top face. Now, what are you doing? Just grab the top face. Is that top face selected? It should be. Maybe you can grab a square around it. There you go. There you go. Transform tool, bring it down.
And transform.
There you go. Good job. All right, 10-minute break. You guys are doing great. So
Thank you.
Trust me, when I was learning Blender, I was screaming at it, like, what the heck is this thing doing?
It's just that muscle memory, just trying to get it down where I'm not thinking about each step 3
Yeah,
4 times.
and that has to do that you need more practice.
Yeah, absolutely.
Put in more
Yeah,
practice
absolutely.
during the week, and it'll all start to come into play. All right, 10-minute. Oh, come on. Type right, Steven. 10-minute timer. Cool. We're there. All right, 10-minute timer. Take a 10-minute break. I'm going to pause it. Start recording. This is the problem I had with David when he wasn't getting quite the results he thought he was getting. Understand that the way the slice tool works, Command R, is wherever your mouse sits, it creates a slice perpendicular, dead center of the polygon that you are inside of. See, no matter what polygon I go to, it'll be dead center. If I go down...
You need to share.
Oh, I'm sorry. I thought I was sharing already. What the hell? It kicked me off. Got it. Thank you. All right. So I hit Control. I go back and do it again. All right. Control R. See, whatever edge that I'm next to, it makes a slice that's perpendicular to it, and it will place that slice dead center of the polygon shape that you're inside of. If I go to the top, is dead center of that shape. Right, and then
Yep, I see it. Yep, I see
okay,
it.
so that's what you should be seeing. I'm in edit mode. Something I want to share with you guys too, just for fun. I think you guys should know this. Let me get out of. I'm gonna go to my object mode real quick. Don't do it. Just follow me. Don't just watch me. I'm gonna hit a Command A. I'm gonna go to my mesh, and this is something I want you to know this just an FYI because you're gonna use it. A cylinder. I added another cylinder. I'm gonna bring it on up. Don't do it. Don't follow me. Edit mode. Now, I'm gonna add the slice tool. Control R, and then roll my scroll wheel up to get more slices like so. Left click and then I can slide them, and then once I decide that's where I want them, I can left click again and commit the changes. Now, take a look at this panel. These are my slices. I can continue to add more slices or less slices. I can go to the factor, and I can continue to slide. Right? Something else I can do. I can go to the smoothness and do. Right? I have that option, and it's based on this fall off. If I drop it down, I've got all different types of fall off. Maybe like a what was that? Was that a linear by default? We go to sharp. There you go, and then we go to the smoothness. We get this nice sharp edge in there, and this may be handy for people like Zari who maybe want to make rocket ship engines. Go to Saphir, and you can do that. Now, I just want that in there as an FYI. All right, we're not going to use that today, but we will use it later. So I just wanted to just kind of get that recorded. Okay. All right. Tab key. Go to my object mode. Select the object.
And real quick, Steve, just when you do that, obviously, the more slices you have, the
that's
sexier
right.
your
The
curve
smoother it's going to be. The more geometry you have, the smoother it's going to be. So, sorry. I'm going to hit the X key and delete. Now, here's another FYI. You know how we're coming up here all the time and selecting our shaded mode and then our texture mode and all that stuff up here? The shortcut is Z key on your keyboard. Wireframe mode. Solid mode. Render mode. Material preview mode. So Z key, I'm going to go to solid mode, which is what we're working in for now. All right, so I want to give you an FYI there. All right, let's go to work. Let's complete our fire hydrant. And we're going to get in close. We got to get this bottom portion, right? So I'm going to hit the number 1 key on the keyboard. You guys will be using your orthographic views on a regular basis. So get used to it. 3 key, 1 key, 7 key for top, right? You want to view things, and then when you want to get out of it, Alt and left click and drag and kind of take a look at what you have, right? Okay. So let's go ahead and finish this up. Select it. I'm in my object mode. Tab
Steven?
key. Yes.
Steven, I'm having problems.
Well, you shouldn't be following me. Or what's the problem? Let me ask that first.
Well, the top of the cylinder, I can't get it to come in.
What do you mean by you can't get it to come in? Do you want to share your screen real quick?
Yeah.
I'll stop sharing mine.
Cannot share screen while the other participant can share.
I just stopped sharing.
Okay, I got it.
Let's see what you've got. All right. Oh, hold on a second.
You're in object mode.
You might be in object
edit mode. Not edit mode.
There we go. All right. So
How do I move it over? I forgot.
what do you mean by move it? Oh, hit your transform tool. All right. Now you're not in your you're also not in your transparent mode to help you to see your object behind it. Now that's not transparency mode. So you want to go back to your standard shading there, and now go to your transparent. The 2 squares, not that one, that one. That's it. There you go. All right, now you can select your top polys and reduce it down. I want you to watch me next, David. I don't want to. You can get caught up when I have you do the next step. So I'm going to go ahead and share my screen because we're limited on time. All right, so there we go. So object mode, tab key, edit mode. Grab the bottom. You guys should know what to do at this point. I'm in my edge editing mode. I want to go to my face editing mode. Hit the number 3 key on my keyboard. All right. Select it. E key for extrude. Right click to reset. S key for scale. Left click to commit the changes. E key to extrude. And bring it down to there approximately. Now this is where I want to turn on the bottom one, so I can compare where I want that to sit. And if you look at the one on the bottom, I could probably, I'm gonna take that to here, and then what I'm gonna do is go back to the object. Now watch what I do. Object, select on the bottom object, edit. Select on its top poly and just place it right where the two join. Does that make sense? And then the one last thing that I want to make a correction on is that these two edges should come together. But if you notice, there's an angle here. So this bottom portion here is not coming straight up. It's actually coming at an angle. So hit the S key just to scale the top so I can match that angle. Once I'm done with that one, tab key, object mode, go back to the helmet, tab key, edit mode, grab the bottom, S key, match it like that. Does that make sense? Get to that point. And I'm going to pause recording. Your lock layers option is not there. Watch my screen. Your lock layers is not on. See my white arrow there? That's your layer locking option. It's not there by default. So last week, I had you guys put this here. The way you place it there is up here where this funnel is. Drop it down, click it to drop it down, and make sure that's turned on by clicking on it. Once it's turned on, that arrow will be there. Once my image is there, there's my image right here. Turn it off, uncheck the white arrow so you don't go back and accidentally move it again. But you were close. You were real close. So how's everybody doing? Is everybody there now?
Not quite.
Okay.
Not quite.
All right. I'll give you another minute. I'll stop recording.
So I'm trying to scale this horizontally so it matches.
So go to your orthographic view, which is your front or your side view, whichever one you have selected. There you go. All right. So zoom in closer so I can take a look at this. All right. So it looks like you pulled your base upward. I think. I'm not sure. Or hit Control Z for me, please. Again. Keep going. Control Z. Keep going. Control Z. Keep going. There you go. That's what I want. Okay, that looks right. Now, E. Pull it down so you can see that you have an extrusion. There you go. Right click. S. And pull your cursor to the right. Just push your. See, there you go. That's what you should have done right there. Now left click.
Okay.
E. And down. Simple as that. That's all you were supposed to do.
Yeah, I missed a step. Yeah, I missed a step. Right.
No, you didn't miss a step. You did too much.
That sounds about right.
So turn on your body hydrant visually so you can see where you're supposed to stop. There you go. Yeah, you got it. It's pretty close. Now, when I did it, I went to the body hydrant and brought the top portion down just a little bit so it matches just below the helmet. So hit your tab key, go to object edit mode. Select the body hydrant. Edit. Tab key.
Edit mode. Gotcha.
Edit mode. Okay.
Gotcha.
Now go select your top portion. Now, there you go. Just click and drag. There you go. That's it. That's it. Now bring it down. Now go to your transform. You're not in transform. You're in resize. There. There you go. All right. So now hit the S key to scale, because remember we want to taper out a little bit. S for scale. Pull it out to your right. Don't be afraid. Pull it. There you go. Right, just match the angle of that. Now do the same thing for the helmet or the hat. Get the bottom portion of the hat. So go back to object edit mode. Grab the helmet, select the helmet. Now hold on a minute. Go to object edit mode and select the helmet. Oh, you already.
So I did that.
Oh, I didn't see you select the helmet. That's all. You got to click on the helmet to select it, then go to edit it. I didn't see it. No, you're in object edit mode. It looks like you are, or maybe you're not. It looks like you're in object edit mode for some reason. Hold down your tab key and let me see you click on object. Object. Now click on the helmet or the hat. Click on it. There you go. Now edit mode. And you have to do that step. Now you can hit your S key for size, because your bottom faces. There you go. So it's a little bit off, but I think you get the point.
Yeah. So how do I correct that?
Don't worry about it. I'll let you correct that when you do your homework assignment. All right, I'm going to start sharing my screen.
All right.
I'm not looking for perfection yet. I will be, but not yet. Okay, all eyes up here. All right, here we go. So if we take a look at this, this helmet is rounded. Now there's a couple of things I'm going to want to do. I'm going to make sure. Let's see. Yeah, I'm still in edit mode. I've targeted the face. I have a little bit of an extrusion here, so E key for the extrude to go straight up. Now, because of the camera angle on the photograph, it's kind of showing the underside. You just have to use your be intelligent about it and realize that's just what it is. What it is what it is, right? Now I need to extrude this outwards, right? So E key for extrude, right click to drop down, S key for scale, and just bring it out slightly. Left click. Now E key for extrude. There's the top of my hydrant. There. Done. Now, we need to address this curve. Now, when you're modeling, the rules are no detail, no detail, no detail. You're looking at the form and the design. You're not looking at modeling details, which is the reason, go back to my home view here, which is the reason we're keeping it very simple, blocky shapes, because we can create curves from these simple little angles here. The way I'm going to handle it is I'm going to select the edge. So click the number 2 key in my keyboard, double click the edge so that the loop is all selected. Now you notice I'm rotating around to make sure that my loop has been accurately selected. Okay, then I'm going to hit the number 1 key to go back to orthographic mode. And all you're going to do is this. We're going to add in another command. Control B for bevel. And bevel works for points, edges, or polys. In this case, we're going to bevel an edge. So if I hit Command B and watch, don't left click, let the mouse sit and pull away. Well, okay. Now scroll wheel up. Boom, boom, boom. All right. Now we've got our curved edge. Okay. And we're done. I'm going to left click to commit the changes. So if I want a little more perfect, I can probably hit the S key and just scroll it out a little more like so, and to match my photograph exactly. Get to that point. I'm going to pause the recording. I'll record this. If I turn off the X-ray view and take a look at it in its full glory, you're thinking, okay, it's looking better now. It's less boxy and a little more rounded. And we're going to address the boxiness of everywhere else too. No detail, no detail, no detail. I'll show you guys my new Starship I'm finishing up too. Don't let me forget at the end of class. All right. Let's do this. Let's add in one more bevel technique. Then we're going to add in some more bevel, some inset techniques. So I'm going to go back to my X-ray mode. Okay, here's where it gets fun. If you take a look at this, I have another little, basically it could be a beveled edge down here, right down here in the bottom. Got this little piece that's coming out. So the way to handle that in Blender is add an edge loop. So Control R, right? I want to make sure I'm going to go to my face editing mode, might be easier. So Control R. All right, something's wrong. Something's reacting. Let me save this one. Control S. And let me save this, and I'm going to make a...
Did it pattern that you were in face mode instead of
it doesn't
mode?
matter. It shouldn't matter at all.
And did you select the
lower object rather than the cap object?
In object mode.
That was it. That was it. No, you're right. I wasn't paying attention. My fault. So I'm going to put a new folder in here and call it class tutorials. So I don't lose this file. We'll call it the fire hydrant. Come on, tutorials, class tutorials. Hydrant. Save the Blender file. Okay, cool. All right. Tab key, object mode, select it, edit mode. Now we're there. All right. I did that on purpose to see if you guys were paying attention. So, anyways, Command R. Oh, I'm still in object mode. Come on, get in edit mode. Click it. There you go. Now we're in edit mode. Command R. Click and drag. Put it. You're gonna put it dead center of that shape. Dead center, and that's it. No detail. No detail. No detail. Now, from that simple shape, Control B for bevel and pull it on out. Right? I only want one line in the middle. That's it. So I'm going to match the length of my bevel, one line in the middle, and then click. Now I want a curve coming out here. So I'm now going to select the number 2 key on my keyboard and select that loop, that one line in the middle. Right? That one line in the middle. What do you think I'm going to do next?
Hit us to scale it out
That's
to the very
right.
apex of the curve. Apex of the curve.
To bring it out to the curve, approximately something like this. What am I going to do next?
Bevel again.
Yep.
Bevel again.
Control
to
B.
round it out.
See? And some more if I want it to be perfect. And then click. Done. Get to that point. So you're learning how to add more geometry through slicing. That's your Command or Control R. And you're learning how to take that slice to apply a bevel to further add more creative detail to your object. So if I decide to go to take off that X-ray mode again, and I do that regularly, turn on X-ray mode, turn off X-ray mode, and then take a look. Oh, okay, that looks decent. I can be more detailed and technical, but I won't for the class purposes, for beginning class purposes.
Hey, Steven.
Yeah.
Hey, Steven.
What am I? Oh, maybe it's in the globe.
Maybe it's
when
in
I
the
click
globe.
on that edge,
When I click on that edge,
Sure.
we just created
Sure.
that cut loop.
I only get the one little section.
I only get the one
All
little
right,
section.
so let me see your screen. I'm going to stop sharing my
What am I
screen.
missing?
Oh, you want to see it? Okay.
Oh, you want to see it? Okay.
Oh, DJ says he has to duck out shortly. No worries.
See what I'm? Okay, you see my screen?
I
Okay,
can
you
see
see my
it.
screen?
So when I click on this, I'm
No,
only
when I
getting
click
one-
on this,
I'm only getting
one.
that
I'm only getting
section
that section that I've.
Zoom in closer, please. All right, double click.
That all is
There it is.
that
It-
all
it-
is
it-
gosh,
it's-
sorry.
What a
All right,
Sorry.
Thank you.
no problem.
You.
And from that point he was at, then you hit
That's
Control
right,
B.
Control B.
Automatically pack resources.
Yep.
pack resources.
And then
If you want.
yeah, I think
Just be careful. Just be careful.
but I think that'll be good when you guys submit your homework to me. It's an automatic pack the resources, so that way everything's inside when I open your file and I can inspect it quickly. And don't.
I'm getting that error. It says unable to pack file.
Why would it do that?
Hydrant.
If you do automatic pack, let's see if I go. Let me try mine. I think I set mine already. It's under my external data. I'm gonna select mine. Yeah, mine works. Once all you're gonna do is turn on a check mark, and then you're gonna go to Save As. File menu, Save As. That's all you're gonna do.
Yeah.
Right. All right. Let's go forward. Next step. Here we go. Let's apply some more bevels, and then we're gonna apply the bolts. Okay. So you're going to have fun with that. So if we look at the edge of the photograph here, go to my number 1 key, those edges are rounded. They're not hard edge like what we have right now. So what we're going to do is we're going to target that edge. Now you can take it and rotate your image slightly forward to make sure you have the right selecting edges that's going to be targeted. Hit your number 2 key on the keyboard and double click that edge. Oops, sorry. I'm in the wrong. I'm sorry. I'm starting with the helmet, so let me just do what I wanted to do. Object mode, select the helmet. Edit mode, there. Double click and select that edge loop. Now from there, Command B. Pull it out. Let's say that's good. Well, we'll make it a little more. Let's say right about there. I mean, I can add in more edges to make it more perfect. In other words, I'm not going to go crazy like this. I'm going to control that wheel and decide how many edges exactly that I want. So I'm going to go to right about there. We need to do the same thing to the bottom of the helmet. Come to the bottom, target that loop, Control B, but when I pull out, I don't want it as far as the one on the top. I want it just slightly. And I may not need as many edge loops in there, so I can give it a little bit less, just slight, and be done with it. Done. So I want you to get to that point. Go to all your edges, including the edges on your body and your helmet. I want you to bevel them. So Tab key, Object mode. Now target the body. Edit mode. Edit mode. Not paint mode. There we go. And there's my edge selected right here. Command B and pull it out about the same as the one right above it. And then I'm just eyeing it, but you guys don't forget, you got your numeric pad here if you want to match them to be exact. And click. All right. So now I'm going to do the same thing to the bottom. It'll have a slightly different roundness to it. Double click that. Command B and make it a little bit more of a rounded edge than at the top. And there. Okay. You're going to do the same thing to the base, right down here in the bottom. Double click it, Command B. And then we can do the same to the bottom as well. Double click it, Command B. And if we turn off the X-ray mode, you get to see we're seeing a little bit of a better semblance of what it is we should be creating. And I forgot these up here at the top too. I'm going to go up back to the helmet. Object mode, target the helmet, edit mode, and right up here at the top, right? I've got the inside portions. This is interesting. Go grab the inside portions, Command B. See? So it looks like it's connected to that lid. Right on the edge here, Command B. Now, what we could do is I should be able to do them both at the same time. So if I do that one there and loop that one there, we can do them both at the same time. So Control B, and see? And they both take on the same properties. It'll help you to save time. And we're almost there. Get to that point. I'm going to give you a couple minutes.
Hey Steve, can I share my
screen for a second?
Let me stop sharing mine. There we go.
So, I think I have
double edges here.
So when I select this,
that's good.
Try and bevel it.
Pull it to the. What?
It does that.
You know why?
Because there's two loops.
Is there two loops
there? I don't think so. Hit the escape key and undo. Command Z just to be safe.
Yep.
All right. So if you look at the vertex, let's see the edges on your statistics. So select that ring again, please. All right. You see those vertices or the edges? You have 14 edges selected. We did make 14 sides, so you don't have double. The reason is because you did not.
There. Now it says 28.
Now it says 28.
Oh, there we go. Yeah. All right. So hit the go to your face editing mode, number 3 key, and now hit A key on your keyboard. Select all. Now what you're going to do is you're going to merge all polys and or all points that are sharing the same space. M key as in man. And then at the bottom, it'll say distance. Click it. And it should say there 14 vertices were deleted. It showed you in the very bottom of the middle. You clicked before you actually looked.
Oh, did it say that?
It did say that.
Did it say that? Okay.
So I think in Lightwave, isn't M key the same key in Lightwave for?
Yes, it is.
Yeah, same thing.
Yes, it is.
Okay. So I didn't have to do this.
I didn't have to do this
lasso
or magnet key and
right.
then
Turn
these
those
things.
off.
Okay.
And at the top, your magnet is still on.
Oops.
Yeah, you don't need them. So double click your edge. Control B. There you go.
Now it works.
It's magic.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
So for some reason,
I can't
use my mouse.
For a second there.
I'm watching how you're dragging. You're dragging the wrong way. Drag. Yeah, you have to kind of get used to where to drag to get to see the functionality.
Okay, got it.
Okay.
Thanks a lot, Steve.
You're welcome.
Thanks a lot,
all right, I'm
Steve.
gonna share my screen again. Now, everybody watch me. Okay, this is where it gets fun. Now, I'm going to face editing mode. if you notice, I'm going to go right over here to my X-ray view. If you notice, we got indentations in the fire hydrant, right? Basically, it's selecting every other polygon, and we're going to make a bevel inside that, or an inset inside of it. So the way we're going to accomplish this is, watch me here, turn off the X-ray view. If I go to number 3 key, tab key, object mode, select the body, edit mode, select the surface. Now watch. Shift to add an additional surface. I'm going to skip the one in the middle, go to the one after, right? Okay, and I'm going to turn on X-ray. Now, Blender now knows that, oh, you skipped one and then selected another one. So every other one, like, no, skip over every other one. Do you want me to continue to do that? You say yes. The shortcut is Control or Command and Shift held down together and the plus key on the numeric side of your keyboard. Boom, 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 boom. And if I turn off X-ray very quickly, you can see it went every other one. So Command or Control and Shift held down together and the plus key on the numeric side of your keyboard. Once you're done, what we're going to do is we're going to inset this. I for inset all of them at one time. All right. I'll take it to right about there. Now, E for extrude them in slightly. Other way, I want to extrude them in. I think that's where I want to go with this. Okay, and then that'll be good.
It did not honor the normals when you extruded. If you look to the bottom or at the back.
You're right. Because I wasn't paying attention. I'll tell you why. Okay. Because I don't. There is some shortcuts for extrude it inwards. But what you're going to do is use this command key right below your transform. It's 1, 2, 3, 4, right there. Extrude region. If I click it, extrude along normals, and click it, and you get this little handlebar there. So if I pull that, see now, they're all extruding along normals. So use that option there. Now what I'm going to do is this portion, what I want you to do for homework is I want you to finish this piece up, and I'm going to give you the last little bit of information to finish this piece up. But I want you to watch me for now because we're running out of time. We're just about done, but almost. I want everybody just to watch me. So I have another little indented area, which is this one right below. It's going to be in the same location. I'm going to select it, skip one, shift select, and then command or control and shift held down together, plus on the numeric side, and boom, 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 boom. There we go. Okay, it's all selected. If I rotate it around, you can see it's all selected. Now, I key for inset, and my extrude along normals button is still selected, so I can go grab it, pull it to the right a little bit. I could have matched the other one using numeric tab. I'm just going to save time, and then click anywhere else, and it's done. Now, so far everything is kind of flat face faceted, right? You know, the fire hydrant is smooth. So what we're going to do is we're going to add on what's called subdivision surfaces. And we're going to use a modifier for that. So modifier is a non-destructive way of working with geometry. Modifiers are applied in object mode only. That's the thing you've got to memorize. It's object mode only. Tab key, object mode. Make sure the right object you want the modifier to be applied to is selected. Right down here, the blue wrench. And you'll see it's a vertical menu. You see a blue wrench. We click it. And then there's nothing in there because we don't have a modifier applied yet. We're going to add one. hit the modifier, and under this option, the generate option, I'm gonna come. It's in alphabetical order, subdivision surfaces, and then click it. Now we want to go to the levels of views. Want to be 3, so 2 and 3 to smooth it out. And I'm going to add one more for the render, so I have the same option. Now, if I click off and take a look at it, you're going to see that it's rounded now. It's smoothed everything out exactly where you want. The only problem are these areas in here. There's an easy way to fix that. And the way I'm going to do it is I'm going to go into edit mode. Select it, tab, edit option. Now I can turn off the visual, so turn that off and turn that on, turn it off and turn it on. So what I want to do is I want to control with an edge loop this top portion. So if I turn it off temporarily, just so to show you what I'm going to do, I want to add an edge loop to tell Blender to restrict that edge where it is. Don't make that edge move. Make it stay there. So I'm going to make an edge loop wall. So I'm going to get in, I'll get in fairly close. Control R, there's your edge loop. Click and hold, drag it up, create the wall to make that behave and make it stay right about there. And I'm just kind of guessing where it's going to be. And I'm going to go back to my transform option here. So there's my edge loop. Now turn on the visuals for subdivision, which is that little monitor symbol to the left side of the subdivision text. That little monitor symbol to the left of the camera symbol. If I turn it back on and look at what we've got. We've controlled it. So now let's do the bottom, but this time I'm going to leave it on. All right? So you can visually see what's going to happen. Control R. You guys are used to Control R. We're adding extra geometry, and we're going to tell that geometry to make that edge behave. Make it behave, make it behave, and there it is. Oops. Let me pull it up. I clicked too aggressively. Let me do it again. Control R. Make it behave. Just kind of put it right down in there, and then click it, and there it is. Right? Now we do the same thing to the bottom. The bottom's having the same problem. It's kind of like, no, we're gonna round, because that's what subdivision surfaces does. We're gonna round everything off, and we're gonna go crazy. No, you're not. You're gonna behave. Control R, put a loop there. Control it. Oh, I'm clicking in the wrong place. Right there. There. Now do the same thing at the top. Another edge loop. It puts dead center. My mouse is off the screen. That's why it's doing that. I need to put everything in the center of the screen. Now it'll behave. Command R. Pull it on up. There. My clicking is here. Or I can hit Enter key in the keyboard. That helps better than just clicking. There you go. Oops, sorry. All right, I'm going to show you one more step. This you guys get. I already know you get. All it is an inset and an extrude in, and then adding additional edge loops to control the edge. And now we have a rounded looking, comparing it to the hat. All right, somebody's yawning like crazy. You like bored or something? Is that David?
I'm awake.
Yeah,
I'm awake.
All right, so we'll do the same thing up here. So helmet. Tab, object, select the helmet. What modifier do we add to the helmet?
Subdivision.
And where do we find it?
Under the little wrench. Under the little wrench.
Modifier, subdivision surface, boom. Are these edges cut?
And to be clear, we got to do this in
excellent.
object mode
That's
first.
exactly correct. Do it in object mode first. Now, I'm supposed to add more of those bevels in here also, just the FYI. So if I go into tab edit mode, I can turn off the subdivisions with the little monitor to the left of the camera symbol, just so I can continue to work, right? So I'm not going to worry about that right now, But if you wanted to add those bevels in here, and I believe what we can do is we can select this. I was edge editing mode. I can select this. Just give you an example. And then I for extrude, pull it in. Now, once I left click, I get this inset faces. Now, be aware that it's going to treat all the polys as one piece, which is what you want. But if you didn't want it, down here where it says individual, click it, and it'll choose every single poly as an individual surface to inset. I don't want that. Turn off the individual box here so I can treat it as one piece. Now, E key to extrude it in, or use the extrude along normals button. So I'm going to leave that one the way it is so we can compare it to everything else. Now, all you're going to do is this. If I Command R, make that edge behave down here and click it, now turn on the subdivision surface option. See? See, the top one is acting crazy. We need to control this one here. So Control R, click and hold, drag it on up. There we go. Hit Enter key on the keyboard. It's there. There you go. We got a control. So there's your fire hydrant. Okay. I want you.
We have to do the 7 insets.
We have to do the 7 insets on the helmet individually, though.
Now you do, because we actually came in here and edited in the curved, the extra curved data that we put in there. Now you're going to have to do them individually. What we could have done is select them individually before we added in that polygons, all those extra edge loops in there, and then reset it in, and then go back and add the extra edge loops along, and then curved it out. We could have done it that way. So the order in which you do things can either make your life hell or make it very easy. But it's just a matter of understanding Blender and how it works. So what I should have done, and I'll quickly do it right now in front of you, because I can. I'm going to go ahead and go to my object view, come back over here, go to my main, over here to my my cylinder. Let's move it off to the side. I'm going to make a quick little helmet here. Go over here, edit mode. There we go. I'm going to my X-ray view, number 3 key on my keyboard. Grab that top, S key to bring it in. Okay, so what I should do now is select that polyface, select this, oops, sorry, wrong one. I want the one after that. That one, oh, see, you got to get out of X-ray mode, because now it's going to select everything in the back, right? So go to that mode, so only select everything in front of you. Grab that, Shift plus, boom, 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 boom. Okay, there it is. So now, I key for inset, come over here for extrude along normals. Go in. Okay, now we're good. So now at this point, we're going to add in our edge. So Command R there. That's where I want it to be. S key, pull it out like we had before, right? Now Control B. See? See the order in which I did it in made my life so much easier, right? So now it's there. Now what? Subdivision surfaces. There it is. It's going crazy. Control it. Control R. There. Control R. There. Oops. Control R again. And if you have a problem, just hit the Enter key. It's better. There we go. See? We've got controlled edges. And I did that within less than 30 seconds. All right. So here's your homework. I want you to complete the fire hydrant. You've got this little edge coming off here, or this little extra piping. Just create a separate cylinder, create a separate lid, match the indentations in the lids, and then I want you to make one bolt, and just don't duplicate it. Just make one bolt and leave it there, and end your project there. Okay, so complete this by adding your subdivision surfaces, adding your edge loops to match your fire hydrant, finish your helmet, only add one bolt and just put it at the top here. Just take the one bolt and put it at the top and leave it there.
So the one sticking out to the side. So the one sticking out to the side.
Don't model that, because I'm going to teach you something different next week. All right, cool. On how to make your modeling life so much easier. So one bolt set at the top, but I want the fire hydrant looking good. I want it looking like the photograph. So don't do texturing. We're not ready for texturing yet. Just finish it out. All right, finish your indentations and one bolt. And then the second thing I want you to do for your assignment is I want you to find something around your house, simple, that you can model in Blender. Take a picture of it, like a side view and a top view and a front view. Bring the pictures into Blender and model that thing. Keep it simple. Don't find something sophisticated, David. Don't make it too overcomplicated. I'm mentioning David because he always kind of like overcomplicates things. Just simple. Yeah, I know. You can find like a bullet in the house. That could be something simple. A pen. A ballpoint pen or something. That could be simple. A glass. Something simple. Model it, match it exactly, and bring that for homework as well.
I found a box.
Avoid boxes, please.
So two models, and if we can find us front and side views online, or would you prefer that we have an object that we can hold in our hands?
If you can hold it in your hands, use your cell phone. Take a front view, a side view, and a top view.
How about a sheet of paper?
No. David knows better. Okay, so any questions? How do you guys feel? Better? I don't hearing anything.
Much better. It's
a lot of information.
And understand that all the information I've given you so far is nothing. There's a shitload more. So that's why I'm keeping it simple and clean for right now. As we start to move on, we'll get more sophisticated. But right now, master these tools, master this workflow. And it's going to make your life a lot easier. So as we go on, I'll start showing you nice little tips and tricks that'll really make your stuff shine. But for right now, just master this. Adding more edges, and learning to select surfaces, bevel your surfaces, learn how to bevel your edges. You can bevel your points. Like if I make a box, just an example. I'm going to go here. And let me get out of here. Let me go to make sure I'm in my object editing mode. If I just grab a box here, a cube, okay? Just move it over to the side and select it. Let's get in close. Edit mode, I can bevel points. So if I grab, let me make sure I'm in edit mode because it has a tendency not to always respond to my commands. Number one key for the points. Select my point, right? Control B. Oh, is anything happening? It is, but when I left click, I have to go to the bevel menu and click vertices and then go. I can edit points. I can edit points in several different ways. Here's my, right down here, let's see what I've got. I've got the face strength. Okay, it's got super ellipse. If I go to custom, I can control how that looks. So there's all types of cool little things in Blender. That's pretty amazing. Let's see, what have I got in here? I've got face strength, new affected. Okay, yeah, I'm gonna. We'll play with this a little bit later, but yeah, there you go. I can edit points too. I can edit anything: points, edges, or polys. I can edit only one edge, right? Grab that one edge, Control B, or do that. My choice. All right, super ellipse. Boop. See? Lightwave does this to a very limited extent, but Blender gives you a lot more flexibility.
So you can extrude that edge as well.
Right, and look, I can even change the shape by adding more points. And I want to add more edges to reflect that shape of that curve. Come up here to the top. Where is it? It's in the width. Oh, there we go. Segments. Look. And I can do that all the way around. If I double click the edge, all the way around, I got a edge loop. Double click that. I got to do all my edges. It's not really a loop. And apply my Control Command. There we go. Here, I'll just get the face, just that front face. Number 3 key. There we go. And bevel. Control B. See? Does that look familiar? Like it could be a banister, the top of a banister or the bottom of a table?
That's cool.
Isn't that cool?
That's cool.
I can add more points. Zip. Zip. See? Make your life easier. Lightwave can't do that. Not in the bevel command. It can do that, but we have to have other workarounds to do it.
Or a third-party plugin.
Or a third-party plugin, right. But in Blender, you don't need any. It's all there. We click it.
And the third-party plugins for Blender
oh, they're a hell of a lot cheaper. $10, $12, $15, $20, right? And they're super good. They're really good, practical, and relevant.
Where do you find the plugins for Blender?
Where do you find the plugins for Blender?
Is it on the Blender website?
What is it, David?
Blender Market.
Blender Market.
Blender Market.
Yeah.
Okay. Blender Market. Okay.
And was that the 25% off?
And was that the 25% off?
25% off sale.
Okay.
Once a year.
Okay.
And tomorrow. Once a year and tomorrow. I think about noon.
Okay.
Okay.
Any plugins you'd recommend?
Any plugins you'd recommend?
Box Cutter.
For starting?
I recommend Box Cutter. In fact, let me
Cutter.
see. Let me go to Blender Market right now, so we all can see. Is it blendermarket.org, David?
I think it's .com.
.com.
I think it's .com. Here, I'll post it.
Blender Market.
I'll post some in the chat box.
Blendermarket.com. Here, let me go to chat box and get it. All right. There we go. Blender Market. All right. So here we go. Auto Rig Pro is kind of cool. Hard Ops and Box Cutter, I highly recommend this one. We're not going to tackle this in the beginning class, in this first 5-week class. When we do the second 5-week class, which will take up where this one leaves off, I'll get into some of this stuff. But right now, I don't want you involved with it. Just go ahead and purchase it, and you can watch YouTube videos if you like, but later on, I'll cover it. Auto Rig Pro is cool. Hard Ops and Box Cutter is cool. There's one, I'm trying to remember the one called Random Flow. And let me see. Let's see if we can search that one. So if you're making spaceships and greeblies and stuff like that on Sci-Fi Object, this is cool.
Also, has anyone here heard of a tool called Mesh Machine?
Yes. Yes.
In 2019, it was recommended, but it's possible that Hard Ops
may have heard
surpassed
of it as a past, but I know some Blender users do use Mesh Machine. They still do.
But there's overlap between it. I
believe
and Hard Ops
so.
and Box Cutter. Cool.
And there's some really cool stuff. You can come in here and check these out. Watch the tutorial videos on all of them. But yeah, hard ops, box cutter, random flow. I bought random flow. It's like $11, right? So it's making, let's see if we got to even. It's making stuff like this.
Wow.
It's making.
Oh wow!
It does it for you.
I saw a screening of Blade Runner on Friday in a theater, and this tool would be lovely for that sort of work.
You guys want to see my new Starship?
Sure.
You probably saw it on Facebook.
Sure.
Maybe I should show you the images. But anyways, I'm gonna go ahead and go to Open Recent, and I've got it. Should be right there. That's it.
Were add-ons useful in the work on this?
Nope, that was Starship? From my imagination. That was
okay.
that was.
So this one. Oh, okay. So this one was just pure Blender. This one was just pure Blender, stock Blender tools. Okay.
So let's bring it up. It's a big one. It's a big file, but it's very cool.
Is it big because it has all your image? It's a big
ass file because there's a lot of layers and a lot of greebles and a lot of detail. Let's give it a hot.
How big is it on disk?
I have to take a look. I can go take a look real quick. Let's go check it out real quick. So while that's coming up,
there are a number of Blender plugins that are free / charge that you can go for.
Blender projects. I put it in here. Did I not save it in this folder? It's kind of weird. Why would I not do that? Here's some of the image captures. Here. It's taking a little bit coming up, but I'll show you guys.
Nice.
That's really lovely.
Very nice. Love the light effect. Very nice.
Thank you.
Love the light effect.
Nice.
Is that a Discovery
Is that a Discovery?
No, this is this stuff I'm showing you is paid projects. So I have a client that hired me to use my imagination and build an enterprise of my choice or constitution style class of my imagination, and I'm going to 3D print this for them. I got other views here. Let's go take a look at these.
I don't know. I think it looks like a garbage cow.
Does not.
Uh-huh.
Let's take a look at this one. Another view.
Yeah, I really like the lighting effects on your stuff.
So how many layers is that?
I gotta go check. That's what I'm hoping. Let's see, this is up. Yep, there it is. It's up. Yay. Okay. Let me pull it back. Pull it around. There she is. And I'm not done with it yet, by the way. I'm still adding a little more details. A few more things.
Any idea how many hours? Any idea how many hours?
I didn't even keep track. I didn't want to keep track. So if I go to render mode here, boom, there she is. Let's go over to the render view. Just taking its own sweet little time. I think I'm in Psycho's render view, which I don't want to be in. I want to go into EV. I want to be in EV, right? So that's what I'm trying to. It's thinking, okay. It's thinking. It's rendering all that little extra detail I've got in there. So, yes, I've got stars and everything in the background, and that's what it's rendering right now. Because the stars in the background are procedural. And it'll come up. It always takes like a minute or so, but it will go back over to the other.
So it takes a little more effort to do a background. Instead of like in just Illustrator or Photoshop.
Yeah,
you
just drop
an
it.
image in.
Let's see what we got here. There we go. We got look at this one here.
Steven?
Yeah.
Steven? Procedurals take up more memory and
Yes.
horsepower. And
If you have a photographic image, it takes up less memory and less power. Because procedurals are vector, and what they can take up as little memory or as much in memory depending on what you tell it to do.
Does the procedural look better than just dropping in a
It
pretty
depends. I mean, a procedural gives you a lot more flexibility. Actually, Jen's really good at procedurals. She can answer some of these questions probably better, but
Well, I'll tell you what. Dave loves procedurals. 3Scene loves them because infinite resolution. Back in the day, when texture maps, when you can go really heavy on the texture maps, texture maps would reveal themselves by looking soft and pixelated. These days, when you got 8K texture maps flying around and UDIMs, maybe it's not. And I just dropped a word that I myself didn't know until a couple of years ago. UDIMs is when instead of dealing with a 10,000 pixel image, you break it up into 25, 2,000 by 2,000 tiles, and that way it's more easily digested by image editors and by your 3D software of choice. Anyway, procedurals, they use up less memory because it's math, it's computing these images through math, like fractals, for example. And it's infinite resolution. The disadvantage is that it might be harder for you to customize. An image, you can paint it exactly the way you want it. If you want a star formation that looks like a giant apple, it's going to be harder. That's specific, and it's easier to do that with an image map.
I see. I've been stealing images from Hubble for years. If you want the
Orion Nebula, take a high resolution map of the Orion Nebula, slap it onto a polygon, and float it into your shot. Zari, do you have thoughts on star fields?
I think Zara's mentioned he's using image maps for a lot of his. I think you said for your star fields or just nebulas.
I think he uses Star Pro.
Yeah, that's the one hang up. I don't know star fields. I use Blender. For star fields, I use Star Pro. It does stuff that no texture map can do, or even a particle system. Star Pro knows how to blur stars properly based on how fast your camera is moving. That's really hard to duplicate with image maps or even just
when we
a
get into the
simple
texture
particle
part of
engine.
the class, we'll start to tackle background, because background is the same. It's the same basically workflow as texturing an object. Your background is just a giant ball. It's just an object. So you're using nodes to create your background. Like this here is procedural. So I'm using nodes to texture to create the stars in the background. And these are just stupid simple stars. I haven't done anything sophisticated. It's just something to throw back there to simulate space. But I can blur them and add all types of effects to them and make bigger stars and smaller stars and suns and so forth.
What about the texture on the ship? Are you planning to do like an Aztec pattern, or you want like a smoother kind of?
I don't know. I haven't even done any texturing on the ship yet. There's no texturing done at all. This is just the basic render of the surfacing on it here. And I think I would love an Aztec type pattern. And I can either create that myself or just use some patterns that some friends of mine are creating and use that. You've got all types of free stuff, and I think I've shared this with you before. Textures.com. There's all types of free stuff there, but Textures.com, what was the other one, David? It was Textures, what is it? Textures, I always forget the name of this damn thing.
Ambient CQ?
Ambient
CQ?
Ambient
CG.
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 Oh, okay.
Ambient. Yeah, there we go. And Polyhaven. That was the other one. Ambient.
I have my notes here.
Ambient CG definition. No, it's not finding it. Ambient.
I also recommend Daniel Grove. He's really good. He has a YouTube channel.
Yeah, he is.
He's really good at procedurals.
And he's a really nice guy.
I
think polyhaven.com is a good one. There we go. Yeah, they've got all types. Check this out, because Polyhaven, this is all free, and it's all free. Its textures are here. And they may have, I don't know if they have star pattern textures here. They may have something here. In fact, Daniel Grove that David just mentioned gets a lot of his textures from Polyhaven. He gets a lot of it here. So you can do a search what you look for. But what's nice about this is that you're getting the up to 8K, and it's all free. It's all completely free. So you can download, and see that little Blender symbol there? You can download the actual Blender file or the GLTF file or zip file. You've got, and it's telling you everything it's giving you. Ambient occlusions, diffuse, displacement, normal, rough map. It's giving you all of them.
Yeah, Daniel also has stuff
for sale on Blender Market.
Procedural stuff and
right.
Stuff.
And for the beginning class, I just recommend not to worry about plugins at this point. Just get to know Blender really well. Because then when you do the plugins, you understand why the plugins are doing what they're doing. And you're not going to be in the dark about it. You're using it to speed up your workflow and not to not to deal with a handicap. All right, that was it. We went a little longer today, but that's okay. I think it was worth it.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, I think it was worth it.
Definitely. Yep. Stephen, before you dismiss us, I just want, or even after, I just want to peek at something.
Sure, go for it.
On my screen. Stick around for that.
Yeah, sure.
Stick around for that. I did something that I probably shouldn't have.
Sure. If
maybe I can correct it.
Class is adjourned. Everybody knows your homework, so if you want to stick around, you're welcome. If not, no big deal. All right, go ahead and I'll stop sharing my screen. Go ahead and share your screen. Okay, we can see it.
All right. Okay. So I was just sort of checking the geometry here, and I hit something, and my image on my fire hydrant dropped off.
So if you're not quite sure, go back to object mode, reselect the thing you want to edit, and go back and edit. So go click on the hat.
Well, I wasn't trying to edit it. I
know what's wrong. You turned off your overlay. Go to your top right-hand corner. See those? See that two circles there? One's white. That right there. You turned them off.
Oh,
there you go.
I clicked it again.
That's something easy to do. When I first started learning Blender, I did that. It's kind of like, where the hell is all my tools and stuff? But they're there. They were just hidden.
Okay. Yeah, that's weird. Because I even clicked it again.
Yeah,
that's weird. I even clicked it again because I thought that was what I did the first time. And maybe I didn't click it with enough.
So really, stop clicking.
Okay, cool. All right.
Cool.
All right. That's it. I'll go back and review.
I think that's it. I'll go back and review. I'm going to start rendering after we log out, and then I will have it up on the Word file on Google Drive.
Stephen, two questions about that. One is how long will you leave those
forever.
YouTube videos up for us?
Forever. I never go back and delete anything.
Great.
I'll delete some of the files in there, but not the Word docs.
That's great to know. And second thing, I'm wondering. You mentioned another 5-week class that would build off of these 5 weeks.
Let's get a date here. I tell you what. I'm going to stop recording, so at least I can